came up with this to give an idea of thickness.
Yeah.
So this guy is always going to remain straight. As the head comes down, you know, they'll open up. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this was mostly to check with you. You know, do you want rounds, or do you want, as you look at Suzanne's artwork, you almost look like these guys bend in a little bit. You know what I mean? They're not quite fully round in the back of the neck.
It'd be a good idea to have a basic shape.
Right, so that way it could take a you know, a little tighter hinge. Otherwise, we've got minimum 4.5 inch hinge with a 9-inch disc.
Right.
Okay.
So how should we go about doing that?
Well, it's really about, you know, you thinking about it, me thinking about it, and then coming together and coming up with ideas.
Okay.
But you know, I wanted to show you what I'm thinking about. You know.
Well, I know that people do it a lot with the fiberglass technique, but we were using the paper mache. We could do it with paper mache, where you make basic camel and then cut it and then use those. But it wouldn't. I don't know. We'd have to think about how you'd connect that shape to the cable. You know,
right.
It's not a disc, but we could fill it with something.
I'm picturing, you know, a wood frame for the body.
Okay.
So it's going to be solid.
Okay.
Now, one of the legs on one of them is going to be able to move up and down, and we're going to get some tail motion on at least one of them. All right. But you know, so figure you got a couple of sawhorses in there. You know, you got something really sturdy. That right. But where things start coming apart for me is as you come, you know, down from the shoulder towards that gooseneck. I don't know what else to call it. You know, the flat part of the neck. Then again, you know, we can do, you know, a pair of boards like this so we can be strong. All right. Then we go straight out. But remember, we chose to, you know, at the shoulder side of the gooseneck do this, and at the other side then do that. All right. Where I'm concerned is that, you know, even if this is relatively light at 5 or 10 pounds up there, you look at the amount of distance on this neck, and then it's wanting to twist.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my major concern, is that it wants to twist. Also, you know, as we talked about, I got a DVD that's teaching me how to do some of this stuff. We'll pass around in a bit. You guys have seen the movie Alien?
Yeah.
Okay, so the chest cracker.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what they're showing here on the front.
Oh, neat.
And I can make that. I mean, I can make the mechanics, and obviously Catherine could do the other things. That's not what we're after. but the point is, you know, we're learning these kinds of flexibilities. All right. Unfortunately, there's limitations using that kind of an approach with the materials they recommend, and you know, they even talk about it on there. And that's why, you know, Catherine talking to Richard was great, because it's. One of the things that happens is that if you put a lot of weight up there, the cable mechanism just wants to kind of squish down.
Has a lot to do with that support cable in the center?
Well, here's the support cable he uses.
Oh, wow.
That's throttle cable.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So
now,
that has a lot of flexibility too.
Right, it has a lot of flexibility, but it doesn't have yaw. Remember how many times yaw has bit us?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why that's important, but it's not big enough to support 10, 15, 20 pounds.
No, not a camel neck.
Right. So that's the problem with those kinds of things. And you know, even the bike chain has enough flexibility side to side that it's going to do this. What? So I'm doing, you know, I'm pulling it up in here, but he's leaning off to the side. We can't do that. I'm really coming back to more of, you know, two posts going up, and you're bringing it like this. That way, it's not going to do this guy. All right. Now, you know, we're still talking about using window motors or actuators. We can work that out later, all right? But I'm just trying to figure out what are we going to do here at the front part of that neck to make sure it doesn't lean. Okay, that's my current major concern.
Okay.
Tomorrow it will be the jaw in this guy. So, did you get enough of whatever you wanted to see with this?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So, can you explain to me what you're thinking of for the mechanics? Like, could you draw a picture or something?
I can't draw. It's easier for me to build something and say, this is what I had in mind.
Okay.
Okay, and, you know, a buck here and a buck there. You know, these are all cardboard boxes with the cut, you know, medium dinner plate, you know, 9-inch, perfect. And this hose is used for a finger mechanism. Okay, so this is what you were trying to tell me about the other day,
Yeah.
and you get the idea. All right,
Well,
now
you see that one, it can't move side to side
Well-
because it's blocked.
you can't small. All right, we can pass this around. You just pull on the on the thing. One of the things I learned was I got too stiff of material. All right, but you start somewhere.
Yeah.
You guys know me. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't hesitate to try something, and then learn and take the next
That's
step.
really neat.
Okay.
Oh, this is
So
they were doing it in the.
it was my idea to do a whole hand, 4 fingers, but once I saw it was too stiff, it's like, all right, I'm going to reprioritize and get this the next step. I use the same hose. All right. His idea. Yeah, go ahead and pass it if you don't mind. We're into show and tell and touch, right? You can pull on that pretty hard.
You wanted to check this out too.
Okay.
What you want to do with that throttle cable is you want to try to twist it. And the reason why it won't twist is because it's multi-wound, it's counter-wound. One time it's wound around clockwise, and next time it's wound counterclockwise. So that's just 12-pound test fish line is what I used. I didn't go to the Kevlar fish line, that he talked about in the tape. I didn't need to. But it is hard to tie knots in that stuff.
Yeah. Well, my concern is just that it moves kind of realistically.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to do that.
We'll get
Try
that.
to push. All right, we will. We will
Yeah,
get it.
we will
It's
get
hard.
it. Now, my concern is, will you be able to cover it? No, I'm just kidding. I know you can cover it, but I am concerned that I'm doing such a tight turn that you're getting wrinkles and folds in here. So that's why I wanted to bring this in. We can talk about that more later, as well as talk about, well, the more we nip this in so it can take a tighter turn, the worse your folds are going to be. Right.
Which bend in the
Well,
camel's neck is that?
All right, this is up top, represents the head, and it's the forward bend.
Well, that's the thing. If it's just like a hinge, then that is a really tight.
Right.
And it just looked really realistic.
We're thinking of it being more than a single hinge. We were looking at the what were those things we used on the bottom of the seats for the motion platform?
Universals?
Thank you. Yeah, the universal joints. But they've only got 22 degrees each. We need to move just shy of 90 degrees. So you're looking at 4 of them at $60 a pop for one camel neck. And
But they might have different universals,
well,
right?
yes, and that was another thing I was going to look into. All right. So then my cheap alternative was a hinge. Well, I can put on 4 hinges for $20. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've just got to make sure that they each move the same amount. You know what I mean? That we spread out that motion.
Have you used universal joints in that direction before? Like anything? I know they work really well horizontally. But do they work the same? Or?
They work the same vertically. Okay. Have I used them that way? No.
Yeah.
But they work the same.
I know, I've heard that with gimbals, if they don't work as well when they're vertical, but they work good horizontal.
Huh.
I know it's similar to a universal joint,
Okay.
but I haven't tried it that way.
Oh man, you're teaching me stuff.
I don't know.
It's scary. So, now the other thing we can do obviously is bring these out some more and take a looser turn. You know what I mean? Because I think that's kind of more what you're going to be interested in, right?
Great.
So,
wait, you're doing it this way. That's not the hinge. So but what are you?
all right.
What are you thinking?
Well, we've got 2 parts that move. The camel is going to be able to look left and right. That's back here. I'm not worried about that one.
Okay.
We're going to do that as a single joint, 22 degrees each way, total of 45. All right. I'm concerned about this one. That's basically about a 90-degree change, and we don't want it in one spot, a single hinge.
Great.
So we want to spread that out. And the question is how much to spread it out.
Oh, so you're talking about how to spread out these universal joints?
Or whatever we put in there. For now, I'm fine with calling them that.
Okay.
They're nice and strong.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the model we're using is a little expensive. Okay. So, I mean, if that's all we had to do to put a camel together, that'd be fine. But
Yeah, I think
Right.
spreading
That's
those
a-
out would definitely make it look more realistic.
right. Okay.
Less like the neck's breaking, and then it would be easier for me to work with
Yep.
it afterwards.
And have less wrinklage and whatever. Okay.